Here it is, guys. This is the brand new Ice Barrel 500, and I'm here in Miami, Florida at Wadapalooza to introduce it to you and give you all the answers that you're looking for. So this will be the full review. Let's go ahead and check it out. So a few things to know. I don't have the exact release date. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more information within the next couple of months, but it should be sometime around summer. The price point, I'm hearing it's gonna be somewhere around $1,500. Now the footprint is much larger than the other ice barrels that are on the market currently, but we are gonna go ahead and measure this out. We're gonna figure out how much room we would need if we were to go ahead and use this for just ice. There's also gonna be a chiller hookup on this side, so you can hook up a chiller, which is gonna be great. And we're gonna leave a little bit of measurements too for that as well. It is fully insulated. There is a lot more material and it's extremely durable. I've been a fan of Ice Barrel for a long time, and the reason is they're extremely durable, practical, and easy for anybody to really use and enjoy getting cold for the first time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some measurements and we're gonna check this thing out in detail. Let's go. So we're gonna start at the stair side. This would be the side you would approach the Ice Barrel 500 from. The stairs are already built in and we're gonna do a few measurements. A couple things that I like about the stairs is that there is a groove and it is angled down so that when water does come over, the water's not gonna sit in the stairwell, potentially getting really, really dirty. All the water is gonna be able to rush off and roll off the steps. Now it is kind of oddly shaped to where it's not a perfect square, a perfect rectangle, or a perfect circle. It kind of goes at a little bit of a slight squish down here towards the stairs. Now, from what I understand is it is wide enough to fit through your standard doorway like this, and I can't lift it up because it's full of water currently, but there are grooves underneath both sides for your hands, so it is easy to pick up and it is easy to move. Empty, this thing weighs just around 110 pounds, so it's not too heavy for how big it is, so it is easy to get into the back of a truck. It is easy to move if that's something you want to do. So let's go ahead and measure these steps so that you can see how easy it's going to be for you to get in. And I'm also going to compare it to the current Ice Barrel 400 step stool, so you can kind of see the difference if you currently have an Ice Barrel 400. So here's the current Ice Barrel 400 step stool, and it is a little bit smaller. You're looking 15 inches at the top step by 8 inches in the bottom step, which you don't really use a lot. It's 5 inches by 14.5 inches. All the way to the top, about 16 to 17 inches, and the entire base about 16 inches as well. The cool thing about this is it's very easy to move around and put it wherever you want it. Now, the steps that are built in here are large and make it very easy for anybody with a larger foot to firmly and comfortably climb up and get into their Ice Barrel 500 for the first time. This top step is 9 inches deep and it is 19 inches wide. The bottom step is wider at almost 2 full feet by 9 inches as well. And they do have some nice grit in there. That's the one cool thing about Ice Barrel is they are very durable. There is a little bit of grit in there so that when you're walking up barefoot and wet, you're not gonna slip, which I'm very impressed with how they did that. It's actually a really, really cool design. Now let's take the lid off and take a look inside it as well. So you've got the groove right here for your hand. Very easy to take the lid off. The lid is insulated. We'll go ahead and set this off to the side here and talk about the inside of the barrel. Underneath the lid, there's an Easter egg. It says Ice Barrel right there, but they're also, right down here at the bottom left, is Ice Barrel's core values, which is one of the big reasons I love Ice Barrel. Their core values are live mindfully, be wildly courageous, lead with the heart, and be playfully curious. Absolutely love that. I think that's a great core value for a company like Ice Barrel. So now let's go and look inside the actual barrel itself. You do have a lot of insulation here. Let's go ahead and just do the measurements on the outside. 2 inches of insulation around the whole thing. And the widest part from middle to middle, 32 inches. And the narrowest part on the sides here, 29 inches. So you can see the shape. It's a little bit wider here in the middle. Now where your shoulders are gonna be, 26 inches. Where your knees are gonna be, 24 inches. Let's go ahead and measure the depth as well. There is a seat right here. It is not empty, so it's a little difficult for me to actually measure the seat, but I'm gonna do it for you. We're looking from the seat to the top, 25.5 inches, and then where your feet go to the top, we're looking 37 inches. So the seat is a legitimate seat. It's not like the Ice Barrel 300 where it's a little bump out. There's a legitimate seat in here, which is gonna make for a very comfortable experience sitting down in the barrel. Now I do wanna measure the actual bench, so I'm just gonna use my fingers here. The bench is 11.5 inches from the backrest to where it goes down to the bottom. And when I got in this for the first time, I do have to say there was a lot of room. It got really, really comfortable. The only thing to be concerned about, or at least cautious of, is if you're tall like me, similar to the Ice Barrel 300, because there is a seat, it makes getting fully submerged a little bit difficult, but it is possible. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the measurements of the total outside. So the narrowest part of the chiller side is 27 inches. The widest part of this entire barrel is 30 inches, which is awesome. Now we're gonna talk about the length. This is a little tricky because of the shape, but from end to end, we're looking about 56 inches, but we are gonna wanna leave a little room off this side. This is where our spigot's gonna be for us to drain the barrel when we wanna drain it if you're using ice. This is also where your chiller hookups are gonna be if you are gonna be using a chiller. I don't know how much room you need for your chiller. There's a lot of different size chillers out there. Ice Barrel's chiller as well. I don't know the exact size of that one just yet. Now from floor to the top, you're looking 38.5 inches without the lid on. I do wanna compare that to the Ice Barrel 400. The Ice Barrel 400 is 42 inches, but you also have a base, so that's not exactly the same. I do believe that the measurements inside here are bigger than the Ice Barrel 400, but you do have the seat, so it's a little bit of a different experience. All right, so I'm gonna get in it and show you guys exactly how I'm gonna fit in here. I'm 6'1", currently I'm 190 pounds. You watch my fasting video, I lost 22 pounds currently in 50 hours. Pretty cool. If you wanna check that out, I'll have it at the end of the video. However, if you also watch any of my other content, you know that I like about 44 degrees to 48 degrees. That's like my sweet spot. They've got it down to 35 degrees. So a little colder than what I like, but I'm doing it for you. All right, so this is the experience. You step up, you step in. It's very easy. There's like no slip, there's no wiggle. This thing is super solid. Don't have my phone, wallet, and keys. So you can stand up and then just sit right back down onto the seat. And as you can tell, it's super easy to get all the way under with your shoulders. Now, if you want to fully submerge, similar to the Ice Barrel 300, you're going to have to do a little bit of wiggling. You're going to have to kind of get a little bit crooked to the side because of the seat. But it is possible. It's not hard to do. There's a lot of room for your knees. You can cross your legs similar to what you would do in the 400. Tons of shoulder room, tons of room for you to wiggle and to get loose and to move, or just to sit and really, really enjoy. So a couple things to note is where the chiller hookup's gonna be if you do a chiller is the port where the water will shoot back into you is right here. I like that because it's gonna push water, breaking up that thermal layer on you when you're getting cold. So whether you're using ice or you're using a chiller, you're gonna get the maximum benefit of the cold water therapy session. All right, that's good, I'm getting out. And then getting out is just easy. You got your step right here. You just have to step up and over onto the other steps and then climb on out. So overall, I would say the experience is awesome. I am still a massive fan of the 400. I like the room inside the 400. I do look forward to potentially having one of these at my house so that I can use this as well. I feel like the maintenance on this is going to be a lot less. I do feel like the chiller is going to have to work a lot less hard than it does on the 400 because of all the insulation. So I'm super excited to get to spend a little bit more time with this. At this point in the video, if you have any questions that I have not answered, please post them in the comments below and I will reply back to all your questions with the answers as I am able to ask and receive them. This is still a product in development. It is not launched today. If you do want to get yourself an Ice Barrel 400 or an Ice Barrel 300 or any of the Ice Barrel accessories, which I highly recommend, visit dmjr.co/icebarrel. That'll bring you to the website. Use discount code MOSS. That'll give you the maximum discount that they are currently offering at this time. I believe it's 15%. It might be a little bit more, but you go ahead and check that out. I'll also have links in the video description below for you to check out as well. But I'm a huge fan of Ice Barrel, always have been. And I appreciate you guys all for watching, engaging, and being a part of my journey here. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next video. God bless.